Fun Gloucester Dragons, welcome to the new 100% fun program! Woohoo! Game leaders, head coaches, you rule! This is going to be fantastic. It's totally unique and we're making it up partially on the fly. It's pre-built, but we've had to tweak it because of COVID, and with your feedback, I think I can make it even better. So all that's happening here is every week I'm going to be putting out a video, putting out an accompanying PDF that gives you the curriculum for the upcoming week. I'm going to be using your feedback from the previous week to make that next week program better. And I'll also answer any questions at the end of these videos. They should be 5 minutes. This first one might be a bit longer because I have to tell you a bit so that you kind of know what to expect. So for this first week, game leaders, this is your first day at work. We're not expecting too much from you. In later weeks, we will expect you to be leading these sessions as we let go of the reins. But for this first week, what we're looking for is an A+ attentive player. Bring your energy, come dressed in your cleats, and just be engaged in the lesson. We might throw to you for easy things like demonstrating a pass, but for the most part, your job for this week is to be an A+ player, because these kids are not only going to be looking up to you, they're actually going to look up to you. So please be that role model that they need, okay? On top of that, other things you can do is probably you'll be roaming around and just helping players who struggle more, so keep an eye out for that as well, okay? So that's your first week job. If you're watching this video, you're crushing your prep, which is fantastic. Head coaches, lead coaches, together you're going to more or less be running the program, and I'm going to walk you through that in just a minute. So for this first week, we're working with U4 to U6, and in COVID, everybody's all segregated. They can't interact, so it makes it hard to keep it 100% fun. So the thing that we're going to be trying to do desperately is keeping them engaged, and there's 3 things that I've decided you need to keep people engaged. Number 1, a ton of energy, right? I could be over here, I could be over here, I could be over here. You're watching me, and it's because of that energy, okay? If you bring that energy, they're gonna give it right back to you. Everyone's gonna have a great time, and that's a surefire way to make sure things are fun. So that's everybody here, okay? 100% energy, and I really do mean it. Kids are alone in the boxes. It's very easy to look at it and be like, oh, this is awful. We don't want that. Come excited. If we're doing a passage drill, oh my gosh, I haven't got to pass with my friends in years. I can't wait to do this. You can't wait. Bring that mentality to it, okay? Keep it positive, make it energetic, and that's our first ingredient. Ingredient number 2, over-preparedness. If you're watching this video, you're knocking that out of the park. Way to watch it before the session and not while the session's happening. Very good job. So again, 1 of these a week. So please watch this ahead of time. The second rule is, I'm going to be giving you a full curriculum, so you have all your games there, but you should always have 1 idea kept in your back pocket in case things go sour anywhere in here, okay? Again, tell me that feedback if something doesn't work so that it doesn't happen in a future week. But if you have 1 idea in your back pocket, basically, if you have not enough time to do all the activities you want, if there's not enough time, the time flies by. Okay, that's the basic rule. So you always want to have too much planned. You want that time allocation that I give you on that PDF that you're probably looking at. I want that to be an underestimate of how long this should actually take. And the reason for that is the time flies by. It'll fly by for the players, fly by for you, and so that keeps everybody engaged and happy. Cool. So the game that I want you to have in your back pocket, since it's COVID, I'm going to give you one. It's just mirroring. So what you do, no balls, nothing like that. You just have neighboring partner squares go to the closest line to them. Okay? And all they're going to be doing is running to one side and the other while the other player tries to copy them. They're going to be touching the line on this side, touching the line on this side, and this player's copying them. They can go try and fake it out. And trust me, because they're U4 to U6, I mean, like, they've been in COVID their whole life. They haven't had another human being give them that level of attention where they're trying to mimic their movement side to side, right? Like, it's going to be fun and exciting. Have that go for a minute, have them switch roles, and there you have it. I'm choosing side to side again because there's kind of some mental gymnastics you have to understand to go front and back as well. So drop that all together, okay? So just side to side, especially for U4, U5, U6, there might be a few exceptional kids that you can say, okay, rather than side to side, U2, try to go front and back, and that'll be a bit of a head game because all you're doing is forcing them to pay attention to someone else and keep their head up, and if you're running backwards, that can be very hard. Excellent. So over-preparedness, energy, and then number 3, mix it up. The third way to keep people's attention and keep people engaged is to mix it up. So the activities are as varied as they can be. So you'll go from something with the ball to something without, things like that. But everything you do can be varied. Whether it's your delivery, anything you do. And I might be coming off a bit too strong here, but this level of energy, I'm telling you, by the 3rd week of you guys seeing me, you're going to be eating it up. you can't help it. It's too contagious, and too many people want to be a part of it once they start to believe it. So this is what it is. So you mix it up both in your explanations, believe it or not, talking quieter can actually get people to listen to, on top of talking louder and using your arms to demonstrate, right? So just constant variety in how you teach and how you're presenting things. Excellent. So with all that out of the way, we get to go through our program for the week. So the first thing we have is arrival. Head coaches, this is for you, or lead coaches rather. Your job is to make sure that the coach there filled out the COVID form correctly, okay? So you're going to be watching for that, and you're also going to be checking with parents to make sure that they did the online COVID screening. If not, ask them the 3 questions all included in this PDF. Excellent. Game leaders, you're going to be welcoming people. You introduce yourself, you talk to them, do the best you can. Nobody expects the world of you, and we also don't expect you to know anyone's name. So please just ask them their name, and when you forget it, ask them their name again. There's nothing wrong with that. First 3 weeks, you get a bye, okay? If ever you don't remember someone's name by the 3rd week, you remind them of yours and you say, I'm sorry, I can't quite remember your name, and they'll say it. There's no hard feelings there. Do your best to remember them. Part of your homework is actually to learn 15 of the 50 names you're going to be faced with in that first week. So that is kind of the arrival, and then once they get there, we also have permanent markers, which our head coaches are bringing, and wipes. So you hand them this. The kid writes their name on their ball because it is actually their ball for the season, which is pretty exciting, and then they'll hand it back to you, wipe down the marker, and so forth. So if you can bring 2 or 3 of these, super helpful, and it kind of gives the kids something to do. Once they're done that, just have them kick and pass in their own square with their parents while you get things ready and while everyone continues to arrive. Very good. Game leaders, during this time, you're just interacting with parents and kids, okay? Lovely. Right, so that throws us into phase 2, which is stretching. So doing this on fast forward. Game leaders, if you really want to impress your head coach, you can volunteer to lead this, but all you do is pick a direction. So I'll go head to toe. So head, side to side, front, back, front half, okay? Head, shoulders probably next, so forward, back. You can also do a shoulder stretch. It's partially arms. This way, stretch, 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 stretch. Arms, you have the windmills, forward, back windmills, the crossover, right? Obviously hold all those for a few seconds. Waist you're not gonna be able to see, but I'm hula hooping. I am hula hooping. You also have the side and the other side. Legs, you have legs spread out. I'll do it with my fingers, so lean to one side, lean to the other, front to back, lean the other way. And then of course stretch, reach your toes, rotate your ankle on the ground. Lovely. So that's your stretches. Again, if you feel confident that you could lay that, make an impression, go for it. The coach might throw to you for 1 or 2 ideas, or he might point out what you're doing well. So dribbling, players are going to dribble in the box, and again, game leaders, you'll help struggling players, but for the most part, you'll be dribbling in your own box too. So this is a good chance for you to show what players can do with years and years of experience of playing soccer, okay? So don't be afraid to show that off, and then what the head coach is going to be, or lead coach I should say, is going to do is just yell out a body part. Elbow! At that point, what you do is put your elbow as fast as you can on the ball. We wait till everyone does it. Everybody stands up. We congratulate players who did it fast, and we congratulate players who finally figured out where their elbow was, and they put it on the ball. Elbow, head, back, etc. Knees can all be fun. Finally, we have fitness. So we have jumping jacks, line drills, which is literally running to one side of the square, touching the line, then running to the other side, touching a line. Come on, Andrew. There we are. Squats. Those of you who don't know, that's basically keep both feet flat on the ground, then bend down straight, okay? High knees, literally, you can't see me, literally lifting up your knees basically as high as you can. It's exhausting. And then high heels is kind of the opposite. You're lifting up your feet, basically kicking your butt. And then we have our first mini game, so egg toss, U4 to U5. I'm not sure how far these kids are going to be able to kick, so you might want to do your first round, kids and parents within the same box. So you have the kid, we'll make them shorter, and the parent here in the same box. Kid kicks it. If it manages to be close enough to the parent that they can reach it without really moving, the kid takes one step back. Parent passes it back. If they make it to the kid without it, the kid really having to move, they take a step back. Okay, so it's just an egg toss. And what you do, I would recommend counting down the kick. So 3, 2, 1, toss, and then they all do their kick. And if they make it, great. If they miss, that's fine. Go back to step 1. Okay, we'll just see who can make it the farthest. Keep kids playing, keep them engaged. If they're able to kick far enough, I'm thinking more U6, you can go straight away to neighboring squares. So that's going to be 2 meters apart. They're standing as close as they can, kid to kid, okay? Kick, if they get it perfect, this kid takes a step back, okay? So they can start that 2 meter distance, but U4, U5, kid and parent in the same square will be easier. Game leaders, this is your chance to show off, all right? Finally, so that's that. Then we finally get to passing. So good passing technique. Again, you can't see my feet, but you want your foot at this age, okay? I'm not looking for too much special. What I want is momentum before they hit the ball and then a small follow through. Best way to do that is to plant your foot next to the ball. I want this foot sideways, about 2-3 feet apart, just slightly beyond shoulder width apart, and then it just moves up and swings at the ball with the inside of the foot, okay? So that's all that is. So once you do that, we'll probably ask you game leaders to demo us just 1 or 2 good passes, and then we'll just have the players pass to each other across different boxes, okay? So this is that 2 meters, and it's fine because they actually don't have to step back, and I think most of these kids will be able to do that 2 meters. If not, again, adjust parents to kids to start, okay? The one fun thing about this, because we're all learning names, and you can ask names too, is as the lead coach, what I'd recommend is when you call someone's name in one of the boxes, all the players have to do their best to pass the ball into that box. We'll then return all the balls and get the passing going again, okay? So it's a nice kind of break and interrupt. And then, okay guys, so the last game we have is our big game, and this is what it looks like. So we have kids against their respective parents trying to pass to other kids who are trying to score on a goal. Parents, of course, are also trying to score on a goal, but we hope they're pretty bad at it. Okay, so parents should not be taking this too seriously and should be playing very light defense. At the nets, we can put game leaders or a coach, a head coach, a lead coach, doesn't really matter. Basically, players and parents hopefully stay in their boxes. If there's a player who excels, you can even use that parent as a goalie. There's variations in there, so please read that. And aside from that, that's kind of your week. So to recap, lead coaches, you're checking that the coach filled out his contact tracing form, and you're checking in with parents to make sure they did the screening. If they didn't, you're asking them the screening questions on the spot. On top of that, if you could bring permanent markers, maybe one, at least one, maybe 2, because this is going to be a game next week if this actually works well, and wipes, okay, 1 or 2 of them, just so that every time the pen's being exchanged, it's cleaned. That would be perfect. Game leaders, you're showing up on time, you're showing up with energy, you're going to enforce the rules, which is going to be on the first page of your program sheet. Okay, so there's 4 of them. 1 player, 1 parent per box. Only foot to ball contact if that ball is going to be used by other players, okay? Just to avoid germ spreading. And then 2 meters distance at all times. And then the last thing, if you can, this is kind of homework, try to learn 15 of those names of the 50 that you hear, okay? You kind of have 3 weeks to learn the bulk of these names, and I know it's a lot. So just do the best you can. 15 is a really good goal to shoot for. If you hit 20, you have my respect. Awesome, guys. I'll see you next week. Please give me feedback on how this goes this week, all right? Thank you.